Hello everyone. I hope you're okay. I'm just going live on Instagram as well, so just give me 1 second. Hello everyone. I'm live. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see all of you. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is June Allen, and I am the founder of The Art of Greatness at juneallen.net. And it's been a minute. Hello, Rose. Hello, lovely to see you. Oh my gosh, it has been a minute, family. It's been a minute. So, gosh, I haven't done any live streams. Rose is saying you be. I haven't done any live streams since January of this year. And to be fair, I've been a bit anxious about doing this live stream today. Hi, Lavon. It's been so long since I've done any live streams, but I just thought, gosh, I've got so much to tell you. So, so basically, I wanted to jump on and just talk about my journey, what's been happening over the last 9 months since I've been doing it, since I haven't done any live streams, and just talk to you a little bit about my journey and just to say hello and just check in with everybody. So, so basically, I am now a qualified therapist. I have had the email telling me that I can now come and pick up my certificate from college. So I'm really, really excited about that. But yeah, I just wanted to really share what's going on. So what's been happening. So I had to come off social media in January because things just got so intense, and it just seemed like the more the course went on, the studies went on, I just found it more and more difficult to kind of keep up with everything. And then I had with all the obviously there was the lot of backlog stuff from the pandemic. My dad also passed away, unfortunately, two weeks before we went into lockdown, which was very, very difficult. And I just felt like I never really had the opportunity to really process everything that was going on. So I just thought, you know what, I was still serving my community inside of the mastermind that I had, the Black Women's Wellness Mastermind that I have. So I was still serving the women in there. So I thought, you know what, I just need to put some stuff down so I can just do these last few months. I had an exam that I had to do as part of my college work in January, and then I had to finish all of my coursework. And oh my gosh, it got so painful. Towards the end of it. I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to do it because I was just carrying so much. And thank God, one of my peers, Jack. Hi, Jack, if you're watching this on the replay or whatever. But Jack, one of my peers, he basically sat me down and kicked my ass. He's like, "You need to get your shit together. You need to get your shit together and graduate with the rest of us." He was not having a bar of it, and I'm glad that he did that because I was really tired and I was carrying a lot, but not graduating was just not an option. I was trying to find ways for me to maybe defer it or something like that. I was thinking about it, and he was not having any of it. He was like, "No, you need to finish. You need to crack on, and you need to finish this. You need to graduate with us in July." So I literally, I put down doing the social media stuff, and I just thought I just need to focus on serving the women in my community, and so I could finish what I was doing. And I managed to get it all done, and it was. I'm just so glad. I'm so glad I passed it. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done, apart from being a parent. But it was well worth it. I learned so much, and it's only really since I finished in July. I thought, what, I didn't even want to come on and hi Lydia, thanks for joining. Thank you so much, everyone that's showing congratulations and whatever in the comments. I really appreciate it. So I just I was so exhausted when we had the final week. The final week was kind of like at the beginning of July, and I was just too exhausted to even tell anyone that passed because I was so tired. I was so emotionally exhausted. So I thought, what, let me just rest. Let me just take some time out. And I knew coming towards the end of July it was going to be, my daughter was going to break up from school, and I just needed some time to spend with her. And I just thought, what, let me just use this time to get some sleep, to get some rest, and to kind of process a lot of the stuff that had been going on. Because the thing is about doing this, the studies, it's not like, yes, we learn about all the different theories, we learn about Freud and all these different types of methods and stuff like that. But also, I had to dig deep around a lot of my own stuff. I had to share, all the stuff that I was working with clients on placement. I had to do case studies. There was a lot of work. And I had to dig deep in a lot of my own stuff. So in addition to kind of learning all of the theories and all of that, I had to do a lot of my own processing and self-reflection and all of that stuff, which was amazing. But it really took it out of me. And on top of that, obviously, I was still working with clients in placement, and I was also had my own one-to-one clients that I was working with as well, and actually running the mastermind and all of that. So it was a lot of work. But it seriously has been the best thing that I've ever done, and I am so excited about what's going to come next. So yeah, what I wanted to do today is just to really just talk about the journey and all the rest of it. So yeah, I think one of the main things that I learned, for anybody out there that is thinking about training as a therapist, you're a black person and you are thinking about being a therapist, oh my God, please do it, because we need more black therapists. We need more black therapists. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the training that they did, I went to Lambeth College, and there is a huge section that they did on intercultural therapy, which I found was really, really useful. And I did actually share some of my own work and stuff with them. They asked me to do a presentation on, what I've been doing in my business, because I've been doing this for quite a long time. And so there was quite a lot of stuff that was intercultural, which was really good. I wasn't expecting that, to be fair. But you do need to do your own work. As for me, as a therapist, and obviously I specialise in doing a lot of work around race and intercultural stuff and all of that. I had to do a lot of my own work, and what really helped actually was the work that I'd done on myself in therapy and in recovery. Had really, really helped before I even went into training as a therapist, and that's why I found the work itself. I didn't find the writing and stuff hard. Obviously, because of the layers of stuff that I had to do, all of the stuff I was trying to juggle, that bit was hard. But actually doing the writing and doing the reflection stuff, I really loved all of that. Because it just helped me understand a lot more. It helped me understand a lot of my own process. And it also helped me to understand what was going on for my clients and what was going on socially and all of that. But we do need more black therapists. So, as a student, if you're thinking about it, please think about it and do it if it's something that you're thinking about. The other thing that I found really, really helpful for me as a black student as well is that I did a lot of work with Baton. I don't know if any of you have heard of the Black and Asian Therapist Network. It's run by Eugene and his wife. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forget Eugene's wife's name. But if you go to the Black and Asian Therapist Network online, Baton, BAATN, they do a lot of stuff on there, specifically for therapists, for Black and Asian therapists, and they do workshops. They do like a support group, and some of the horror stories and stuff that I heard in there, the racism that was going on at the various colleges was absolutely horrific. But having that space to be able to process, to be able to understand what's going on, to be able to connect with other therapists was really, really helpful. It was really, really helpful. So, I found Baton really, just really invaluable. They do a conference as well every year about different topics. And I've just found, just the whole process of being, working with them and going to their events and all that sort of stuff. I just found it really, really powerful. And it was nice to have that in addition to what I was doing at college, because there's a lot of stuff that I didn't really understand. And, initially when I first started, I started training as a therapist back in 2014. And I first went to the Minster Centre, and I was the only black woman in my class, and I just thought I can't stay there, because I just found it very difficult to be able to, to speak my truth and stuff in the class. And I just couldn't talk about race. It was so painful. I just couldn't talk about my race. I remember talking to my my therapist at the time, about all of that. And I remember, I wrote my final dissertation when I was there, doing the foundation on race and my experience of race and stuff as a student and all of that. And I was absolutely terrified because I just, all the tutors were white, almost all the students were white. Actually, there was one other lady in my group that was, I think she was Indian. But yeah, there was just not an opportunity for me to talk about race, and at the time she wasn't really ready to have those sort of conversations. So I felt really quite isolated, and I remember I was really upset in one of my therapy sessions, and I was terrified because I thought if I submit this paper, I didn't think that the tutors were going to understand. I thought that maybe they might mark me down because I was writing about race and all this sort of stuff. And my therapist was just like, it was so good to be able to just have him hold that space for me. And I was really scared, but you know what? I submitted the paper anyway, and I ended up getting a distinction, which I was not expecting. I was not expecting that. And that's the first time I'd actually written any essays or anything since I've been at school. So, I didn't go to university or anything. So that was the first time I really started to think, actually, maybe I'm a bit smarter than I think I am, writing all of this stuff. So anyway, I decided that I didn't want to stay at the Minster Centre because it was so white, and I wanted my experience training as a therapist to be something that was a lot more intercultural. I wanted it to be a lot more diverse. So I just thought, I went to Lambeth, and even just walking into the college and everything, it was so much more mixed. There was a lot of black people as well. And what the key thing for me that I knew it was going to be a lot more black people there. So I went into the canteen, and on the menu they had rice and peas and jerk chicken on the menu at college, which was really hilarious. So I thought, okay, this is a good sign. If they got rice and peas and chicken on, not that I eat chicken because I'm vegan, but the fact that they've got that on the menu just told me that this was going to be the right place. So anyway, I went for the interview. And there were just too many things in alignment for me to go to Lambeth. So anyway, I ended up going there, and three of the tutors that I had there were black, which was amazing, and it just made it so much easier for me to be able to sit in class, and also my classmates and stuff were there was a good mix of people. There was a mix of men. There was black. I would say probably. Gosh, I would say maybe 70% of the class, 60-70% was non-white, and there was gay people in the class as well. It was really, really diverse, and it just made the conversations so much richer. The conversations and the discussions that we had in class were so much richer because the class was so diverse, and so it was just what I needed to be able to do that. It was tough, we had to do all the stuff during the pandemic as well. We ended up having to move loads of stuff online, which was really difficult. But we got it done. And then we had to, obviously, when the pandemic had finished, we had to move everything back into in person again. So there was a lot of stuff, that we had to deal with. And then obviously there was all the George Floyd stuff that was happening as well on top of the pandemic. And then my dad died as well. There was so much stuff going on. But I did it. I did it, and I think that if you're somebody that's really, really thinking about doing this as a profession, that it is hard work. You do have to dig deep. You do have to be willing to really go there in a lot of the conversations around your family, all that kind of stuff. You have to be willing to deal with a lot of stuff, and including the race stuff. And I think that if you're a black therapist, or you're thinking about doing it as well. For me personally, it was important to to think about how you can get additional training on top of what you've already learned. Read as much as you can, listen to podcasts, listen to people's talks on YouTube around black psychology and all of that. Listen to other black therapists as well. And like I said before, Baton have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of events and stuff as well, which is really, really helpful. So if you're really thinking about it, really throw yourself into it. Even if you're not thinking about training as a therapist, just thinking about, just generally about how you want to get well, and thinking about your own healing journey and all that sort of stuff. take the time out to read. If you go onto my website, if you go to heal.juneallen.net, that's heal.juneallen.net, that's heal.juneallen.net. There's a free download there. There's 15 of the best books that you can read in terms of your wellness. So yeah, if you click the link in my bio and go on my website, you'll find a free download where you can where you can do that. So yeah, gosh, what else has been going on? So oh my gosh, something else that came up as well, that I thought was really interesting, because obviously as part of the different theories and stuff that we had to learn, we did a lot of stuff on Freud and all that sort of stuff as well around psychodynamic and all the different methods and stuff. But part of the training, we actually went to Freud's house in Hampstead, and Freud is always kind of is portrayed as kind of one of the key people in the history of therapy and all of psychotherapy and all that sort of stuff, which is fine. But I thought it was interesting when I went to his house. And actually, before I tell you that story, there's another bit that kind of latched onto it. So part of the training that we did around Freud's work, there was a bit there's a bit of his theory where he talks about psychodynamic in of itself. It's all about using your past, you looking at your history, going back and exploring what's going on in terms of your history. And then seeing how whatever's gone on in your history, how that shows up in the here and now. That's kind of what psychodynamic theory is. So last year, or was it last year or this year? Anyway, that's kind of irrelevant. But I did a class in my mastermind around the 12 laws. Okay, the 12 laws of the universe, which comes from our ancestors. Okay, in Egypt. And one of the laws, it talks about, I think it's the law of correspondence, where it talks about, going back into your history. And look, and I thought, oh, this is a bit similar to what we've been learning in college about psychodynamic, about going back. There's another Ghanaian, I can't remember the actual name of it, but it's something about go back and get it, go back and fetch it, or something like that. But there's all these different quotes, these principles that came from our ancestors about using your history to influence, to explore what's going on in the present. I hope this is making sense. I'm talking a bit jumbled, but I hope this is making sense. So anyway, I ended up going to Freud's house, okay, and the man's house is covered in Egyptian stuff, Egyptian whatchamacallit, loads of things all over the walls, pictures, loads of different Egyptian artifacts. That's it. Thank you, Lydia. Sankofa. That's it. Return to the source and fetch it. So yeah. Yes. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Angie. And so Angie said it as well on Facebook. So anyway, so when I go to the man's house, it's covered in all of these Egyptian artifacts all over the walls. It's got cabinets with all these little, and I'm just like, oh my God. So Freud is talking about, using history to find out what's going on in the present, and he's got all of this Egyptian. The man was obsessed with Egypt, and then I thought to myself, no, people don't really tell us this. People don't really tell us this. I did not know that Freud was so obsessed with Egypt until I went to his house. But they never said nothing about that when we was at college. So I was a bit, oh my God, I thought, gosh, it's a thief, basically. They take all of this stuff, they take all of our bits and pieces, and then they put their own spin on it. But they don't actually give us the source of what's going on. And if I hadn't gone to his house, I would never have known. You have to kind of search for it. And if we hadn't gone to his house, I would never have known that Freud was obsessed with Egypt. So it just goes to show how important it is for us as black therapists, okay, to do our own research, about, the psychology and what's happening, because we're in there. And what's happened to us and all of the stuff that, you know, we contribute to so many different things, and it's just not acknowledged. It's just not valued. You know, it's not valued. It gets turned into something else, and then they use it and take it and tell everyone it's theirs. You know, I mean, Freud has got his own other things that he's talked about, which his other bits of theory that are useful, but that psychodynamic bit, it comes from us. It comes from us. So at the time, I was actually quite pissed off at the time, and I did write about it in my work. I was pissed off because I just thought, you know, it's just another area of history that is not acknowledged, you know, and we need to be very clear. We need to be very clear. We need to be doing this work. We need to be researching this work and claiming what's ours, you know, and not just taking everything that is said to us as gospel. You know, that's something that I've always done, you know, as part of this work. You know, I'll learn what I need to learn. I'll go and learn the theories and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm always thinking, okay, well, how does it apply to us? How does it apply to us as black people still living under the systems that are oppressive? You know, racism, patriarchy, whatever you want to, you know, however you want to do it. You know, we're all still living under this system. And so, you know, for me, it's always about how can I take what I've learned and apply it to the community. And this is what I'm going to be doing now. After, you know, it's taken me 4 years. You know, actually it's taken me longer than that because I started in 2014. So what's that? That's 6. It's taken me 8 years. It's been an 8-year journey. I took a 4-year gap in the middle to do all of this, to learn everything that I needed to learn. And to you know, to do my own internal process as well, because that's an important part of this process. You know, as black therapists, and you know, what's been really powerful in my journey is the fact that I've continued to do my own work. You know, the work doesn't end just because I've finished training. Yes, I've finished the formal training, and you know, and a lot of you have been on that journey with me. So thank you all for you know, allowing me to be part of your process, for coming on a journey with me, for rocking with me right back in the day when I started doing this back in, you know, 2000 and I can't remember what, I think it was 2016 I started the you know, going live and everything. But it's just, you know, the work does not stop. Okay, the work does not stop. My journey, my exploration, my thinking, my reflections, all of that stuff still continues. You know, it still continues. And you know what I'm going to be doing now is I'm actually doing you know, some deeper work around, you know, racial trauma. On Thursday I'm going to be doing some work with oh my god, if anybody hasn't has read this book, please go and get this book. It is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I've listened to loads of Reshma stuff on YouTube and stuff as well, but I'm actually going to do some training with him. I've got like I'm starting on Thursday. This Thursday evening I'm going to be doing some more racial trauma work with Reshma. So I'm really excited about that. Because I just really want to niche down and make sure that I'm always learning and really giving the best that I can to the community. And that means doing more trauma work. You know, all the clients that I've worked with, every single client that I've worked with has got trauma at some level. You know, whether it's trauma within the family, whether it's you know, racial trauma from being, you know, living under the system of racism, all of that kind of stuff. You know, so that's, you know, as a therapist, you know, even though I've worked with you know, with clients for a while, you know, because even before I actually qualified as a therapist, I was doing peer support. You know, I did a lot of stuff in recovery as well, sponsoring people, all that sort of stuff. And all of it's trauma. A lot of it's trauma. You know, so it's just another layer of me. I want to be the best therapist that I can be, and to be able to serve the community as best as I can. And I'm already learning so much already. So, you know, as I continue to learn, I'm going to continue to be sharing on here. I'll be on, you know, on social media once a week. I'll be on here on Tuesday mornings now at roughly the same time, around this time, about 11 o'clock. So yeah, if you're, you know, put your notifications on, so that you know that when I'm going live. If you've got any questions at all, stuff that I share about, and stuff you want me to do live stream on, you can inbox me and let me know, because I'm all about serving the community. You know, maybe you know, you're not ready to come into the mastermind. I've got like I've got a book club actually that's going to be starting on when is it, on the first week of October. Okay, and there's 4 books that we're going to be looking at. Actually, there's 4 books that I'm going to be that you can choose from. Okay, and this is actually one of them. You know, My Grandmother's Hands has to be on the book list for the next book study group. It's not like a normal book study group where you read the book and then we come together and chat about it. I break it all the way down. Okay, I break it all the way down in the session. We read the book live, and we take each little bit that we read and we unpack it. I give feedback. There's a huge library as well as part of the book study, as part of the book club. And there's extra topics and stuff in there. There's live streams that I've done. There's worksheets. There's lots of resources. So if stuff comes up for you in the book club when we talk about stuff, and you need more support around stuff, you can always go into the library and there's more information and stuff in there to enhance the journey. So that's going to be starting as part of, it's Black History Month in the UK in October. Thank you, Rose. Yeah, Rose, as you said, book club review. That, yes, Rose is one of my old G's. She worked with me for quite a long time, which was absolutely lovely in the book club, and we had such an amazing time. So the book club, so Black Orchids 789. You say, what's the name of the book club? The book club's just called the Sacred Sanctuary Book Club. So if you click the link in my bio, go to heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. You can sign up for the waiting list, and what you'll do, you'll get, there's some free, if you sign up for the 15 books that I recommend, you'll be automatically put on the waiting list, and then there's loads of emails that I'll send out and let you know when it's going to be going live. But what I'm going to be doing, the 4 books that I recommend, or that for you to choose from as part of the book club, I am going to be doing, maybe reading the introduction to each book, and I'll be doing a live stream on each book. So then you get to choose which one that you'd like to study in the next one that we do in October. So if you go, if you click the link in the bio and go to my website, there's information there about the 4 books that I've chosen. So there's For My Grandmother's Hands. What else have I picked? Commune by Bell Hooks, which is all about Black women and love, relationships. What else is there? There is My Body Is Not an Apology by Sonia Renee Taylor, this one, which is good. I've read bits of it. I don't know if you know this one. Love her work. And the last one, I thought, because of the cost of living crisis and all the stuff that's going on in the UK and stuff like that, which is really difficult, I thought I would do one on finance. So we do the Black Girl Finance book. So what I would do in conjunction with that is, so I did a masterclass in the membership on Sunday, which was about the link between or the importance of understanding the practical things that you need to do around money, but also looking at the money financial therapy, okay, which is, oh, hi Bex, thanks for joining, thanks so much for the congrats. So we'll also be looking at the psychology of money, and how you feel about money, and the link between your patterns and all of that kind of stuff, and how racism plays a role in it. And also, when I taught in the class on Sunday, I give them 15 different things that they can do to look at the psychology of money. And we talked about money trauma. There were so many things. So if people decide that they want to do the Black Girl Finance book, there will be the psychology of money bit included as well, because I would include that as part of the stuff. So we're not just going to be looking at tips and all of the practical stuff. In terms of increasing your financial literacy, we'll also be doing the psychology stuff as well. So there's a lot to think about. But if you go on the website, there is a link there where you can go to the book club page, and then it will give you the link to actually choose which book you'd like to. Whether you're in the book club now or not, you can still have an opportunity to choose what book you'd like, and then obviously I'll send emails out, and then you can choose. But yeah, so really excited about that. Really excited about doing the trauma work. Really excited about relaunching the book club. And then what I'm going to be doing next year is I'm actually going to be doing a more of a structured course around, which is very much more trauma focused, but it's going to be focusing more on healing the Black mother wound. So I've worked with so many Black women around mother wound, and I would, those of you that have been following me for a while know that I've always been quite transparent about my own relationship with my mum and how difficult that relationship has been. And just from my own experience, and obviously working with a lot of women that are, trying to deal with their own mother wound, it's a huge topic. It's a huge topic, and what I understand is that underneath a lot of the pain, a lot of the reasons why, so many of us have got low self-esteem, that are disconnected from our femininity, that struggle with relationships with other black women, underneath a lot of that is a lot of pain and a lot of trauma around the relationship with the mothers, with black mothers. And then obviously we have to talk about race, and also there's patriarchy, and there's so many layers to it. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm putting together a course for next year where I am going to be giving people the opportunity to, work with me over a long period of time. And, because it's not going to be easy work. It's difficult work, and it's challenging work, but oh my God, is it rewarding when you start to do it. So, again, I'll be sharing a lot of the ladies that are already in my group or have worked with me already know that I'm quite transparent about sharing about my own experience, as well as, what I've learned in terms of my experience as a therapist. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting course. It's going to be a challenging course, but also you get a lot of relief and all of that. But obviously as that is being done, I'll share nearer the time when that's going to be live and all of that kind of stuff. But so that's kind of what I've been doing. So yeah, really, really excited about everything. And also the last thing that I wanted to share actually that I'm going to be doing next year is, I haven't done any recovery work. I haven't done any writing around recovery and that for a while. So, I want to really pick that up, because that was actually one of the main reasons why I started doing this work, is because of my recovery, and I wanted to do some more writing and all of that kind of stuff. So next year, I'm probably going to revive the podcast around, for those of you that are in recovery and that want to learn more about racial sobriety and all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking about redoing the podcast and doing a lot more, publishing some stuff around for that. So I'm gonna, so for those of you that are interested in all of that, there is some more lots of free stuff on my website as well about racial sobriety. So you can find out more stuff about all of that on my website. So let's have a look. Black Orchid 789. What is the price of the course? I haven't even got close to any of that yet. Obviously nearer the time, if you sign up to the mailing list, once all of that's done, it's not going to be until next year. I'm not going to be doing the course. All of that information will be done then. So sign up and just stay close to the page, and I'll let you know when all of that is going to be live. So that's me for today, everybody. So thank you so much for joining me. It's been amazing hanging out with you today, and it's good to be back. I actually thought I did feel a little bit anxious before I came on today. I was like, oh my God, I haven't been live for a while. How am I going to get on with it? But it's just been really nice hanging out with you all. Some of the stuff that I'm going to be sharing over the next few weeks, just to give you a bit of an insight. As I said, I'm going to be, I'm going to be doing some live streams on the books, for the book club that's going to be launched in October. So stay close for that. And again, like I said, if there's any topics that you want me to talk about, or questions that you have, or you're struggling with something and you don't know, how to deal with it or whatever, just, drop me an email, info@yardofgreatness.com, or drop me a DM if that's easy for you. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. So thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for your comments and your questions and your congratulations. I'm a therapist. I'm so happy. Yes, it's recorded, Black Orchid 789, and I will leave it up. I always leave my live streams up, so you can watch it again if you need to. But any questions or anything, if you would like to work with me one-to-one, I've updated my page and stuff like that. If you want to work with me one-on-one, I do that. I've got one-on-one practice. I don't have a lot of spaces now actually, because I've reduced the spaces and the price has gone up, obviously, now that I'm qualified. So if you do want to work with me, you can email me again, info@yardofgreatness.com, and I can give you all the details about all of that. All right, thanks everyone for joining, and I will see you next time. All right, take care. Bye everyone. Bye.